Okay, so today we're going to make some cheese sticks. We're going to need pink salt. I use honey. You can use sugar or brown sugar if you want it a little sweeter, but I like to use honey. Some yeast, all-purpose flour, 2 cups of warm water, and we'll get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start getting the yeast bloomed. And to do that, we're going to use our 2 cups of warm water. Make sure it's just warm to the touch, okay? Not scalding hot, not cold, just warm. So I'm going to take 2 cups of warm water. And then I'm going to add my honey. And it takes about a tablespoon, but I'm going to eyeball it. If I can get the honey down. And that's about a tablespoon. And I use 100% pure raw honey. And then we're going to need a teaspoon of salt. I use the pink Himalayan, but you can use whatever you want. I'm measuring spoons, 1/2 teaspoon, so I'll take 2 of these. And then we need 2 tablespoons of yeast. And this is the yeast I use. Now we need to mix this up. And for that, I like to either use wooden or plastic, like the like a spatula, plastic like a spatula. It works best if you don't have this, which you can use either one. It doesn't matter. Mix it up pretty good to where the honey is soluble. We're going to let that sit 2 to 3 minutes. And it starts to bubble. You just make sure you get all the yeast and everything in there. And that's what we do for now. After you get done with that, we're going to start adding our all-purpose flour. Now, at first, I add about 3 cups and keep adding until it gets sticky, which I'll show you how it looks when we get there. So now all we do is just wait. Okay, as you can see, it's now frothy. And it's ready to start adding the flour. So I'm going to put in about 1 cup of flour. I have a 1/3 cup here. And I just dip it out with that. It's 1 cup. And that's 2 cups of flour. And we'll start out with this. And we'll put it on and start mixing it. Okay, it's still really wet, but this isn't completely mixed up. I like to let it get pretty much completely mixed up before I move on and add more, which is close to it. So let's go ahead and add another cup. And let's wait to add the next one. As you can tell, it's getting a little tighter. Alright, I'm going to stop it right here. And we'll brush down the sides because I've got a lot of flour on the sides of the pot here. Just to make sure I get it all good and incorporated. And I'll go ahead and sprinkle in my other cup. That makes us 3 cups of flour total in here. It usually takes about 4 cups. Sometimes more, sometimes less. It just all depends upon the humidity and things like that. So you can always add more flour, but you can't take it out. So I suggest going slowly about adding the flour. Just let that mix up. As you can tell, it's still really, really loose. It's not a dough. So I'm going to add another 1/3 cup. Okay, you see that the edges are still sticking to the side. When it starts to pull away, you know you've got enough. So I'm going to do another 1/3 cup. And this is going to make us 4 cups. And we'll see how that works up. You can see it's still sticking to the sides and it's not stretchy enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about 1/3, go around the edges with it, put it back in and see what happens. We may have to add more, I'm not sure. Okay, we're just about there. I'll get me another 1/3 of a cup and not put it all in there. Just put a little at a time. Like I said, you can always add more, but you can't take it out. Just a little at a time, and we'll see when we get it into dough. Alright, it's still sticking a little bit, so let's add just a little more. I'll come up here now a little bit too. Just to try and help with it. When it pulls completely away from the sides, then you know you're about done. We may have to let the mixer knead a little longer to get it stretchy enough. But other than that, it's about done. And that's starting to look good. Just a little bit more. Alright, we got a good dough going here. I'm going to stop it and I'll show you what I'm talking about. See how it's hanging to the hook? And when I grab a piece of it, it's still breaking apart. So it needs to probably just be kneaded a little longer. So I'll put just a little more flour in there to help with it. And let it knead. Alright, let's have a look at it. It's got it now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it off of the hook, as I did a while ago. I'm going to unhook it from the base. I'm going to move the mixer over. Now, this is what we got. And so what I need to do now is to put a little oil on it. You can use oil or real butter or tallow, whatever you decide that you like, whatever you choose. All you're doing is getting it moistened, so as it's rising, it doesn't stick to the pan. You just roll it around. And we got our dough ball. So you just drop it in. Remember about where it comes to in the pan, and then I cover it. I use one of the lid covers that I have that are plastic. You can use a towel or whatever your choice is, but I like this because it keeps the heat in. Okay, you should put it in a nice warm place. Now my oven has a proofer. Where it says it, red proof right there. Hit that, and then come over here and hit start. And it raises the temperature of my oven to 95 degrees. So all I do is I start that, and then I stick my bread in the oven to proof. For dinner, since I'm making cheese bread, I'm going to make what we call here goulash. So first thing I need to do is to make the pasta sauce. And to do that, I take a couple of quart jars of tomato sauce that I canned last year and put it in and let it cook down to make the pasta sauce. Okay. So now we're going to pour these in. And all I gotta do is to cook some of the liquid off, and we'll have our pasta sauce. So I always start on high until it starts to get warm. And when it comes to a good hard simmer, then I'll cut it down and try to maintain that. Once you're cooking it, you don't have to stir it constantly. You just do it occasionally just to make sure that it's getting thick, it's not sticking, that you're moving it around, just like with any other thing that you might cook. Alright, we're starting to get somewhat of a simmer. You can see the little bubbles starting to come up. I don't want it at a full rolling boil. I just want it at a good simmer, about like what it is right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it from high to about 4. For me, and where I live and my stove and how it works, That usually maintains the temperature at which something's at when I start out at high and I get it where I want it. I will stir it one more time. Kind of keep a watch on it for a few minutes to make sure it maintains where I want it to be at. It looks about right. I'll start one more time and then we'll walk off and leave it now. And we'll check on it periodically. And we'll wait on our bread, see if we can get it double the size. That's the whole goal with proofing. It usually takes around an hour, so I'll come back when we're ready. As you can see, I forgot to record the beginning of this. I rolled the dough ball into a pretty ball, and then I cut it into 4 pieces. And then I patted it out to make it look like a square. And then I cut the square into strips. And then, as you see, I'm putting my hand in the water. That is to moisten each strip and makes the cheese adhere to it a little better. And I roll it in the cheese and put it in the pan. Out the next row. Flatten it out. And put it into put on them. Keeps it from sticking to the board. And it also helps you to pick up the chicken. Just roll it. Now all we have to do is put it back in the proofer for about 30 minutes. And then we'll get them out. And then we'll bake them. Alright, let's have a look at this pasta sauce. It's looking like it's getting thick. So what I think I'm going to do is go ahead and use the immersion blender and see if we have it at sauce level. we'll see what it looks like. It looks pretty good. So I'm going to cut the stove off. And that'll be that. That's done. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. Here we go. Finished product. They're delicious looking, aren't they? We have to sit and wait on them to cool because they're super hot right now. But after I get dinner fixed, I'll show you what they look like when they come out. Okay, now we're going to start dinner. First thing we'll do is I'm going to get my water to boil. And I'm going to put the meat on and get started. This will be part of the sauce. Add a little bit of garlic to it. Just put it to taste, I don't know a measurement or anything. Everybody does it different. And I've already chopped up a few onions. I'm going to throw those in. And then some green peppers I chopped up too, so I'm going to pour some of those in. I really like a lot of green peppers, so I'm going to put quite a few of those. Once it gets up to temperature, just start cooking. I'll cook till the meat is brown and the onions are clear. Then once the water comes to a boil, we'll add pasta, which I'm going to use some elbow macaroni. A little oil to keep the pasta from sticking together. I'm going to go ahead and put some elbow macaroni in here. Salt, pepper, grease out. Put it all inside here. Let's take a paper towel. Open it, I'll drain over on it. Now what we're going to do is the pizza sauce, or I mean the pasta sauce I made earlier. We're just going to put this in it. We're going to put them together. together and combine them and heat it through. This is our pasta sauce. And this looks like it's done, so I'm going to cut it off. Drain the pasta. I like to have a little cold water. Now we come back and we add it to our